Alright, picture this. A quiet sheep and cattle farm somewhere in County Kerry, the kind of place where time moves slower and everyone knows everyone. You hear the wind, the cows, the same tractor every morning, and then one day silence. A man is gone. No fight, no chase, no midnight break in, just gone. That man's name is Michael Gaine, 56 years old, farmer, born and bred near Kenmare. He wasn't some mystery man. He was the type who bought his tea in town, waved at the neighbors, minded his land. But on one random March morning in 2025, he vanished, leaving behind his car, his wallet, his phone, and a whole lot of questions. And before anyone could say that's odd, the guards were roping off a Kerry farm and digging through a slurry tank. Because this isn't your usual true crime story, this is a murder mystery hidden in cow manure and DNA swabs. So who are we dealing with here? Let's start with the man at the center of it all, Michael Gaine. Michael was 56, a farmer through and through, lived just outside Kenmare, County Kerry. The kind of guy who knew his cows better than most people know their coworkers. Quiet, reliable routine. He was last seen on March 20th, 2025, popping into the local Centra for phone credit. That's it, nothing dramatic, just another normal Kerry morning. Then we've got the Guards Ireland's police force. And when they showed up, it wasn't just to ask a few questions. Oh no, they came with boots, tape, and serious detective faces. Because when a farmer goes missing and his car's still in the yard, that's not maybe he went fishing. That's something's up. And finally, this one's wild DS forensic experts. Yeah, actual American crime techs on Irish soil. You can almost picture it. Some guy from Denver stepping out of a plane into Kerry rain like, what's a slurry tank? They came armed with high-tech gear, drones, DNA vacuums, all the cool CSI stuff that looks weird when surrounded by sheep. So now we've got the perfect trio. A missing farmer, Irish detectives, and American lab nerds with gadgets. If that doesn't scream rural Irish mystery meets Netflix pilot, I don't know what does. Alright, so let's rewind a bit. Before all the high-tech gadgets and fancy DNA vacuums showed up, here's what we actually knew. Michael was last seen on March 20th, 2025 in Kenmare town. He was just out grabbing phone credit, a regular errand, nothing weird. Then his car turns up parked neatly in his own farmyard. Inside, his wallet, his phone, his keys, everything. It's like he came home and then disappeared into the air. At first, people thought maybe he wandered off or maybe he's visiting someone. But now days passed, then weeks, and still no sign. That's when the guards went from search party mode to crime scene mode. By April 29th, the case was officially upgraded to a homicide investigation, and that's when everyone's stomach dropped. Because this wasn't a missing farmer anymore, it was a murder case. Now in Ireland, when a quiet farmer vanishes, it hits different. It's not like Dublin or Limerick where you expect police tape once in a while. In rural Kerry, this is like someone just turned off reality for a second. The community was confused. The family was desperate. And the guards, they were gearing up for something big. Okay, so the guards have been digging, searching, and scratching their heads for weeks. And just when everyone starts whispering that the trail's gone cold, here come the Americans. Yeah, us forensic experts flying into County Kerry like it's a Netflix crossover episode. They roll up to a muddy Irish farm with gear that looks like it belongs in a space lab. Their secret weapon. A thing called M-Vac technology, basically a crime scene vacuum that slurps up microscopic evidence from places you'd never think to look. It's been used in some seriously high-profile cases, and now it's sucking up samples from a Kerry cattle shed. Welcome to modern Ireland. These experts start scanning everything: soil, walls, floorboards, even the slurry tank. And believe it or not, they actually find what looks like blood traces in the shed. Everyone's holding their breath. Finally a lead. But nope. Plot twist. It's cow blood. All that excitement, all that fancy American gear, and the DNA comes back bovine. The guards are probably standing there like, "Grand, we just spent a fortune confirming what every farmer already knew, there's cow blood in the shed." Still, it's not wasted time. The M-Vac proved one thing. Even in a rural, muddy, chaotic place like a farm, science can find clues that eyes can't. The problem is, sometimes the clues wear hooves. Alright, here's where things get messy literally. The main focus of the investigation, Michael's farm. Specifically, the cattle shed and that massive slurry tank out back. Yeah, that thing farmers use to store animal waste. Turns out it's also an absolute nightmare for forensics. The guards with the American team backing them up basically turned the farm into a high-tech dig site. Drones flying overhead, soil scanners buzzing, experts in white suits walking around like they just landed on Mars. And what they were looking for wasn't gold or oil, it was anything human. Tiny bone fragments, microscopic DNA, bits of tissue, disturbed soil stuff that can tell a story even when people won't. The terrain was brutal. Kerry's weather doesn't exactly help when you're trying to collect delicate samples. Everything's muddy, wet, and full of farm life. But that didn't stop them. They scanned every inch, every corner, every bucket, every patch of dirt that looked a little off. Then came the discovery that flipped everything. Human tissue found inside the slurry tank. That's when this whole thing went from weird disappearance to confirmed homicide. And just like that, Michael's farm wasn't a quiet patch of Kerry land anymore. It was a full-on crime scene, sealed off, guarded day and night, with detectives picking through manure looking for justice. You can almost picture the moment the lab confirmed it. Some detective just staring at the report like, "Right, that's definitely not cow." See, here's the thing, solving a murder in rural Ireland is nothing like those fast-paced city investigations you see on TV. No cameras on every corner, no streetlights, and definitely no nosy neighbor with a Ring doorbell catching the suspect in 4K. Out here, it's just fields, miles of them. Hills, bogs, forests, and one farmhouse lost in the green. The guards have to work with what they've got, and what they've got is mud. Lots of it. Every piece of evidence is covered in it, drowned in it, or buried under it. You can't even tell if a footprint belongs to a human, a cow, or a visiting cousin who stopped by last week. Then there's the equipment. A slurry tank, tractors, cattle trailers, all potential evidence, all absolutely filthy. Try finding a clean blood sample on a machine that's been splattered with cow stuff for years. It's like looking for a needle in a manure stack. And the witnesses? Yeah, that's another thing. In small rural communities, people talk, but not always to the guards. Everyone knows everyone, and sometimes silence is its own kind of loyalty. The real twist here is that whoever did this might not even look like a criminal. Could be a neighbor, a helper, someone who's driven that same road 100 times. They could wave at you in town, help you fix your fence, and you'd never know what's hiding behind that handshake. So yeah, solving this one isn't about speed. It's about patience, persistence, and having the stomach to keep digging when literally everything smells like cows. Alright, let's zoom out for a second, because this case, the Michael Gaine case, it's not just about one missing farmer. It's a mirror of how modern crime solving has completely changed, especially here in Ireland. See, back in the day, if someone disappeared, you sent out a few search parties, maybe put up posters, asked around the pubs. That was it. Now, you've got drones scanning soil, forensic vacuums sucking up micro DNA, and specialists from America landing in Kerry like it's a science mission. This whole thing proves that justice today isn't just about chasing suspects, it's about chasing molecules. And honestly, that's wild. But here's where it hits close to home. People in places like Kenmare, Bantry, Sneem, they always thought stuff like that doesn't happen here. But it does. It just hides better. That's the scary part. Because while the big city crimes play out in the open CCTV, witnesses, headlines, rural crimes fester in silence, they grow roots. And by the time someone notices, it's already too late. The guards in this case are basically fighting a ghost. No camera footage, no witnesses, no trail. just soil, blood, and a slurry tank full of awful possibilities. And if there's one takeaway for us watching at home, it's that justice doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it's just a bunch of exhausted investigators in muddy boots vacuuming evidence out of cow sheds, hoping science can tell the truth that people won't. So when you really step back, what's happening here is like watching two worlds collide: the old school Ireland that runs on tea, tractors, and tight-lipped neighbors, crashing straight into 21st century science. You've got the guards still knocking on doors and taking statements the old-fashioned way. And right beside them, forensic experts with laptops, drones, and DNA vacuums trying to squeeze secrets out of the soil. It's old boots meets new tech. Traditional grit meets microscopic data. And somewhere in the middle lies the truth about what happened to Michael Gaine. Justice in 2025 doesn't look like it used to. It's not the tough detective slamming his fist on the table anymore. It's a quiet lab tech in a hazmat suit whispering, "I found something." And that's kinda poetic, isn't it? Because this whole investigation is proof that progress doesn't just mean faster results, it means refusing to give up, even when the answers are buried in mud, blood, and silence. For Michael's family, that's the only thing that matters. Every shovel of dirt, every sample bag, every sleepless night in that lab, it's all for one goal: finding out who took a man from his land and tried to erase him from it. That's the fight. Not glamorous, not dramatic, just slow, careful, and painfully human. Here's the part that'll mess with your head a little. After all the effort, all the high-tech wizardry, the fancy gear from the States, the soil scanners, the drones, the big aha moment turned out to be cow blood. Cow blood. Months of work, endless lab tests, and the most advanced forensic vacuum in Ireland confirmed the obvious. That's rural life for you, the evidence fights back. But just when everyone thought the trail had gone cold, human remains were found in the slurry tank. That single discovery changed everything. The guards now knew they weren't looking for a missing man, they were looking for a murderer. And yet, here we are months later, no charges, no arrests, no answers, just a farm, a tank, and a story that refuses to stay buried. What's eerie is that the truth is probably still there, hidden in the fields, or maybe sitting across from someone in a pub, smiling like nothing ever happened. Because sometimes the person who knows everything looks like just another face in the village. And that's what makes this case stick with you. It's not the tech, not the gadgets, not even the mystery. It's the silence. The quiet, heavy kind, the one that follows you out of a Kerry pub at night and makes you glance over your shoulder. Michael's gone. The land's still there. The machines are silent. But the questions, they're not going anywhere.